Hey, my friends, it's your girl Cassandra, and I'm coming at you today with your 10-minute takeaway. Happy Easter, and also today is the last 10-minute takeaway. I promise to come to you guys all month long doing these 10-minute takeaways to kind of give you a behind the scenes sneak peek, bird's eye view of the type of conversations and discussions that I'm having day in and day out with my life coaching clients. And it's the last day of the month, y'all. So today is the last 10-minute takeaway. And I've got a pretty heavy topic to talk to you about. I'm going to do my best to get it in this 10 minutes. And it's all about regrets. Don't play around with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it, okay? Like regret, y'all. Don't play with it. Before we get into it, you already know we're going to do our quick housekeeping items. Go out to CassandraBellevue.com. 3 reasons. Number 1, you're going to be greeted with a pop-up box that's going to invite you to join our email community. If you've enjoyed the content that we've been doing all month long, then it's going to be more of the same. Plus, you'll get to know when we do prizes and giveaways and free webinars and when we have openings and open slots for our life coaching. Number 2, there is a $10 sale going on in the store right now for all of our merch. Beanies, hats, visors, tank tops, t-shirts, all $5 until the end of the month. Why are we doing that? Because we're making room for brand new inventory. And finally, number 3, my dynamic book set, Pressed But Not Crushed, and the 30-day companion guide / devotional is on sale for $15 till the end of the month, which is in a couple of hours, give or take. And basically, we're doing that because I really believe that we're in a season where God's accelerating us. And if there is a set of books that's going to accelerate you into your purpose and your calling, that is it right there. Okay. So go out there and get that before the price goes up tomorrow. Like I said, grab a set for yourself, for your friends, for your family. Start a book club or start a Bible study, because if you can get the people around you to level up with you, hey, it's a win-win. So I want to talk today about regret. And excuse me for my throat and my voice. It's been a busy day with friends and families. I was also out there at the Atlanta United game screaming my head off. Yeah, we won. We did that. Sorry, Chicago. But so my voice is a little bit hoarse at this point. So excuse me, I probably should have grabbed a bottle of water before I sat down. But today I want to talk about regret, and it's a pretty serious topic. And, I thought about all of the different stories that I could possibly share about regret, but I don't want to be, insensitive. So I'll just share one of my own stories. And I hope that it resonates, and I hope that the message gets across clearly. In 2020, I had pretty much written what I thought was a blog or an article. Later on, I found out that it was the first chapter of my book, Pressed But Not Crushed. And the editor that I wound up using for the book was the person that God used to help me to realize what I was writing, what I was doing. That was a crazy year. That year, I got laid off due to the pandemic. And even though I didn't really care about that, I had another job lined up. That other job that was lined up could not honor their verbal offer because of the pandemic. They had to lay people off as well. And so there's a lot of craziness going on in my life at the time. The place where I was living, also, we found black mold. So in the midst of a pandemic, I had to evacuate my own home. It was a wild, wild year. And I share all that to say, when you start pursuing your purpose, sometimes it seems like all hell breaks loose, but you got to keep persevering and pushing through. While you feel pressed, you have to understand you are not crushed. God is for you. He's behind you, and he's going to help you to facilitate and to complete the thing he's called you to do. And so I remember after I got laid off, the Lord was like, you need to finish the book. The Lord sent a prophetic leader that was in my life to tell me that your window for writing this book is closing. God literally sent someone to tell me, basically, you don't have forever to write this book. Your window to write it is closing, or you're just going to miss out on this opportunity and what God's trying to do. So I speedily finished the book with the help of the Holy Spirit. And I remember the day when I sent the final manuscript to my editor. I shut my laptop, I closed my eyes, I leaned back, and I went into a vision. I'm a dreamer, I'm a seer, so this is like par for the course for me. And I saw this vision of train tracks. And in this vision, I was looking at this track, right? And I saw that it split off and went off into 2 different directions. And then I could see what they call, I had to look it up, Google it, the railroad switch. There was a railroad switch there. And I saw it and I heard it click in the spirit. It just shifted to a different, direction. So if that thing hadn't shifted, the train would have gone in one direction. Because it had shifted, the train would now be going into the next direction, the other direction. And I saw that vision. I heard the railroad switch click, and I heard the Lord clearly say to me, because of your obedience to write this book, the trajectory of your life, like your life is now heading in a different trajectory. And I just remember it was like a heavy moment on top of a heavy moment. Like I was already having a moment like, oh, I finally finished the book. Then the Lord came and told me, like, because of your obedience, the trajectory of your life is shifting and changing. And if you heard my testimony before, wrote the book, then he called me to start my business, and he called me to come out with my merchandise, and he called me to write the second book, get my real estate license, called me into speaking engagements, like so on and so forth. So many things just started happening. And I began to see what he meant by that. Like the trajectory of my life had definitely changed. Before that, I was trying to find better jobs in corporate America, and he was doing something completely different. And because I was obedient, more doors got open, more opportunities got open, and here I am now, right? I've heard so many stories from people who, and I want to back up by saying this. Yes, God is a God of second chances. Yes, God is a redeemer. By his grace, he brings back around opportunities to us that we let slip through the cracks or we weren't good stewards of. But not every opportunity is going to come back. I just want to be honest with you. I want to be real with you. We see examples of that throughout the Bible. I don't have time to go into a deep dive Bible study about that right now. But there are times when you miss it, you miss it. And I have been in the presence of people who have shared these stories of regret, these stories of stepping out and doing something that God told them. God told them to do one thing, and they stepped out and did something else because of peer pressure or other people's voices in their ears, people knowing that they were supposed to do something, but they felt overwhelmed or not qualified. They had all the excuses. Basically, the enemy was bombarding them with lies and confusion and, all kinds of things. And to me, those are the saddest stories to hear when people are like, I know that God wanted me to do X, Y, Z. I didn't step out. I didn't do it. And I live with the regret of not stepping out into that. Like I said, because some opportunities, once they're gone, they're gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. And, I'm one of those people who tries to live a life of no regrets. And when I'm coaching people, I try to make sure that that's also something that they're very aware of. We should never, ever just assume, well, if I just don't feel like doing it right now, I'll just do it later, because you're not always promised the later for this opportunity. When we talk about divine timing and divine connections and all those, the reason why they're divine is because there's a specific timing where God's opening up a door for you to walk through. And if you're not positioned correctly and you're not being obedient and walking through it, that door is going to shut and you're going to miss out. And again, that's why I shared that very specific testimony of mine, where that person, the Lord sent that person in my life to say, the window is closing for you to finish this book. And I felt the fear of the Lord, and I was like, I need to hunker down and finish this thing. And because of that, things have just opened. And I can't tell you how many people have been impacted by this book, especially because of what happened during the pandemic and what we still see a lot of what's happening around the world, right? His timing was very specific for me to release this book. His timing is perfection. And so, like I said, talking to many people who have these stories of regret, like it really just, I cannot tell you how much it hurts my heart to hear these stories. And, my message to you today is simply this. Whatever it is that God has asked you to do, do not delay. Do not put it on the back burner. I'm talking the second this video cuts off, you go and make that phone call. You go and send out that email. You go and fill out that application. You go and do whatever it is he called you to do right now. You take that first step and you step out into the open door and the opportunity that he has for you. Guys, regret is not to be played with. I'm telling you, these people on the other side of regret are not having a good time, okay? And I don't want to see you walking in their footsteps. So again, I hope you have enjoyed these 10-minute takeaways all month long. If you didn't catch them all, go back and watch them. And I want to hear from you which one was most impactful. Thanks for your time, guys.